wrong for calling my best friend dumb for marrying for love? I, 27 female, am in a very stable relationship with my fiance, 29 female. Oh, whoa, double female. Hold on, gotta do it again. It took me off guard. I, 27 female, am in a very stable relationship with my fiance, 29 female, for around 4 years, and we are planning on getting engaged eventually and then marrying. My best friend Chrissy, 27 female, has been with her own fiance since they were 20. They only got engaged this year, and it was kind of weird how it took him so long to propose since he seemed to be financially stable and all. Throughout the years, I asked Chrissy why her fiance hadn't proposed yet, and she kept insisting it was not just the right time, but she never said the reason why, just that it wasn't the right time. Eventually, he proposed in the beginning of 2022, and they're planning their wedding for next year. They decided to plan their engagement party during the summertime because due to busy schedules, they couldn't do it earlier. So their engagement party was this past Saturday, and her fiance made a speech dedicated to her and mentioned pretty much the reasons they didn't get engaged sooner, and I couldn't help but pity my friend. So the reasons were that he didn't have a stable job for the first few years of their relationship and only jumped from position to position from Walmart to Target, etc. He hadn't finished his degree yet, so he had no higher education. He got his degree in 2019 and only then was able to get a proper job. He bragged and also thanked Chrissy for never giving up on him and growing with him, and how they helped each other form their amazing personalities and achievements, and how no matter what the future holds, he'll never forget. Oh, this is sweet. Why are you hating on her? My fiance and I felt some type of way about it. Why? Some friends of mine and Chrissy agreed how Chrissy basically stayed with a broke man and waited 7 years, and we don't think that's something praiseworthy but pity-worthy. That's fucked up. Why would you say that? She was only 20. What? Of course he's broke at 20. As friends, we decided to explain to her our perspective of how we think it was ridiculous that she had to almost reach 30 to move on with her life and that man when someone else could provide what she needed much sooner. Ew, you guys are not nice. Chrissy always said how she wanted marriage and kids, and it's sad that she had to wait this long for this man to get his act together, and she didn't know her worth. She said she loves him and he's an amazing partner and wouldn't break up with him over his misfortunes, and what matters is that they love each other. Okay, Chrissy's a real one. Why are you guys hating on her? I don't understand. I told her it's dumb how she's marrying for love and not for stability, and how she's basically wasted herself for love, and how the first issue should be raised when he was working at Walmart and Target back to back. You cannot hate on someone working at Walmart and Target. Like, I don't understand. Sure, stability is important. I agree on that. But I think when you hit a certain age, when you're past like your mid-20s, like 25 and above, and you're dating someone new at that age, that's when financial stability and stuff is important. If you're not doing shit with your life at that point, what were you doing for the past 8 years, 5-6 years? This guy was working his ass off since he was 20. He got his degree when he was 24, if I'm doing the math correctly. I don't understand the problem. She called us all materialistic in classes and said she doesn't care if she struggles financially as long as she struggles with the right person who will value her emotions and listen to her. She said we are miserable bitches who will find no happiness in life and are very shallow. Could we be the assholes for criticizing her this way? Yeah, you are. Am I wrong for refusing to pay for my husband's family to go on vacation with us and then leaving without him? I am a 45-year-old female. I share 4 beautiful children, 23, 20, 17, 14, with my husband, male 49. We've been together for nearly 30 years and married for 24. We always take a big family vacation every summer. Due to COVID, that was put on a hiatus. Usually he pays for his parents and vice versa. Together we pay for our children. One of his brothers needed help, so my husband decided to cover him and his family. My husband retired a couple of years ago. We've always had separate accounts and a joint account. He has always been an avid hunter and fisherman. We are not rich, but we do live comfortably. I managed our finances to get us to this point. Now, when he retired, he started managing his money because I didn't agree with his irrational purchases. He recently invested a large portion of his savings into a large hunting tract, citing it was a steal he couldn't turn down. Mind you, we live on a large property where the hunting game is in abundance. I didn't understand the need to buy more acreage. Maybe it's a hunting thing. I reminded him that our trip was coming up and that he should have waited to make the purchase, since to cover his brother and his family of 6, plus his parents would be expensive. He assured me that he had it covered. I come home to a pretty boat in our driveway. I don't know a thing about boats, but all I saw was money. My husband receives a nice pension each month, but a percentage of it goes to our joint account and the rest to his savings. I calculated the land, and finally learning about the price of the boat, I knew he couldn't possibly have enough to cover the trip, which included our kids as well. So I asked him how he was planning on paying. He said he had it covered. Time rolls around for us to book everything. He mentions that he noticed I had a significant amount of money in my personal account, and he was wondering if I could pay for the entire trip and he would pay me back his half. I told him no. He was aware of this trip and ignored it. My husband hates owing anybody and therefore would find a reason why he shouldn't have to pay me back, which is a con artist move to me. I proposed he sign an agreement to repay me with interest if he didn't pay me back in a set amount of time. We had a huge argument about it, and he ended up leaving. I called and texted, no response. I received nasty texts from his mom and his sisters about how I was treating him. Therefore, before, I booked my family and I was even kind enough to purchase his ticket, though I hadn't seen or heard from him in over 2 weeks. The moment we left for vacation, the harassing calls and texts started. I turned my phone off and enjoyed my vacation. I came home to a nasty letter and his wedding ring stating that he wouldn't be returning until I apologized to him and his family for how I treated them. I'm not apologizing, but I'm wondering, am I wrong for not paying and suggesting him paying me back? I don't think you're wrong. I think he was over splurging and he was buying stuff he couldn't afford, so I get it. But I don't know. I'm not married. I don't know how to deal with this shit. Am I wrong for calling out my sister for breastfeeding at my wedding? Oh, this is gonna piss me off. My 34 male sister gave birth 2 months ago. She brought the baby to mine and my wife's 23 female wedding. She breastfeeds wherever she goes. We visit her house, she'll breastfeed in front of us. Visiting our parents, she'll breastfeed. Going out in public setting, she'll sit on a bench on the park and breastfeed. Go out to a restaurant, she breastfeeds. Everywhere. I've never spoken on it because I know she'll get mad and offended, but when she did that on my wedding, I lost my cool. Dude, you're 34 years old? You don't understand that she is giving her child life? She is their sole source of nutrients. Is it breastfeeding? Yeah, she's gonna feed at all those places because not only is it a feeding mechanism, it's a soothing. When the baby cries, they find comfort in breastfeeding. She's not gonna just not breastfeed in front of people to be like, oh, I'm in public, I'm not gonna breastfeed. Oh, this dumbass guy is gonna piss me off. During the reception dinner, she just did it again. I kindly approached her and asked her why she didn't bring formula or at least pump milk out and put it in a bottle so she wouldn't have to do all this at that moment. Who are you? Who do you think you are to tell someone what to do with their body and their child? And it's your sister on top of all this. You have the guts to... Oh, you should be defending her from people who are saying this to her, but yet it's her own family. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm like getting way sidetracked. She said, because I don't have to. I feel comfortable breastfeeding. Getting milk out on my own is more painful. Oh yeah, I completely forgot that pumping hurts like a bee. I wouldn't know, but I'm just saying, I've seen my sisters. I said she could just make the sacrifice and compromise for one day instead of doing this in front of 250 guests on my wedding. So here's the thing, right? These other 250 guests don't care like you do because I assume that they're all grown adults and some of them have kids, so they understand that this is completely natural and not something to be ashamed of. She then said she can't do much about it now because the baby has to have her milk. I told her she should have been more thoughtful of that than instead of completely embarrassing herself and us by doing this. The only person being embarrassed right now is you. I told my wife what the deal was and she said that I'm an asshole and should immediately apologize to my sister. My parents also sided with my sister and now pretty much everyone thinks I'm an asshole since I'm the only person who had a problem with it. The only reason I decided to call her out is because I considered it a bad etiquette and tacky to do that at a formal event and that she could just find another solution for that night. So am I the asshole? Okay, you know what the real problem is here? The problem is your way of thinking, right? You called it what? Bad etiquette and tacky to do that at a formal event and she could just find another solution for that night. That is your own thinking, right? You need to change the way you look at it. Dummy. This is gonna get taken down for bullying, watch.